The wolves do not pursue the feeble. They hunt the mightiest because they fear what they cannot dominate. They've deceived you, manipulated you, and spent countless years clouding your vision, shattering your spirit, and convincing you that you are insignificant. Not because you lack strength. No, that would be a waste of their time. They target you because they perceive what you do not. You are chosen. They move against you in silence, planting doubts in your mind, creating hurdles in your journey, turning those closest to you into weapons aimed right at your heart. They make you question your purpose because they know precisely what it is. They dread your awakening more than anything else. For when a chosen one embraces their power, the enemy loses all influence. Before we delve deeper, take a moment to engage with this message by liking and sharing it within the Chosen One sanctuary. This truth is being suppressed, not just for you, but for every chosen one battling through turmoil, confusion, and seeking clarity. Your engagement shatters the chains they have placed on this revelation, signaling to the Chosen One sanctuary community that more souls need to hear this. Believe me, they do not want that to happen. So, if this message resonates deeply within you, if something is stirring inside as you listen, leave a comment below and unite with your fellow Chosen Ones. Now, listen closely. This is no mere game or empty motivational talk. This is your final message before the transformation. The war is already upon us. This is not a battle fought with swords, but with cunning, distraction, and control over your very essence. Your mind is the battlefield, and every moment of hesitation, every instance of self-doubt allows them to win. You have been tested, tormented, and cast aside, not because you are cursed, but because you are feared. The most daunting presence in this world is a chosen one who recognizes their power. That power is not something you can purchase, study, or fabricate. It was bestowed upon you long before you took your first breath, inscribed in the very fabric of your spirit. They may try to research you, mimic you, and leech off your essence, but they will never embody your essence, and that terrifies them. That's why they toil tirelessly to make you forget your true identity. The chosen carry something unexplainable, a light that disrupts the darkness, a force that cannot be ignored. Even when you feel invisible, they see you. Even in moments of self-doubt, they recognize your strength. Look closer at your life. The patterns, the betrayals, the unexpected losses, the times everything seemed to crumble right before your rise. Those weren't mere coincidences. They were moves on a chessboard designed to deter you from your destiny. They sent people to drain your energy, divert your attention, and break your spirit. Not because you are weak, but because your power is far too grand to be left unchecked. They keep you ensnared in cycles of self-doubt, toxic connections, and relentless distractions, ensuring you remain without the time, energy, or clarity to discern the truth. You were never meant to blend in, you were meant to lead. The universe has marked you, and nothing can erase that. They can deceive, manipulate, and strive to shatter you, but they can never replace you. That's why they settle for breaking you down, for instilling second guesses within you, for keeping you exhausted and lost. Because the moment you decide to reclaim your power, everything alters. So, I ask you, are you prepared to awaken, or will you remain dormant while they drain you dry? This is the pivotal moment for you to step into your destiny, or allow them to keep you trapped in their illusion. The choice lies with you. Are you truly ready to confront this truth, despite the risks? Because once you acknowledge it, there is no turning back. If you can feel this truth awakening your soul, drop the number 77 in the comments below and stay present. What follows will shake you to your very core. Let's begin. 1. They know who you are, even when you don't. The greatest deception the enemy ever orchestrated was convincing the chosen that they were powerless. They recognized your essence long before you ever had a hint. Even before you questioned why life felt different for you, why you've always felt misaligned, and why the betrayals hit so profoundly. They had their eyes on you. They saw what was embedded within you, that raw, unshakable force that cannot be bought, stolen, or faked. That's why they moved against you before you could ever rise. They studied you like predators watch their prey, not because you are weak, but because you are formidable. The moment you arrived in this world, they knew you were a disruptor, a force that could not be tamed. They whispered doubts into your ears before you could even speak, placed hurdles in your path before you could even take your first steps. Not because they doubted your power, but because they recognized its authenticity. Have you ever considered why life affects you so intensely? Why those who should have showered you with love turned out to be the first to hurt you? Why you've been surrounded by individuals who never understood you, who secretly resented your energy and sought to clip your wings before you could take flight. It's not random. This world is governed by a system, an intricately woven structure designed to suppress the chosen ones before they awaken. Reflect on history. The individuals marked for greatness often faced early opposition. Jesus was hunted at birth. Moses was abandoned before he could take his first steps. Malcolm X was targeted before his rise. Every chosen one shares the same narrative: initial opposition, isolation, manipulation. The enemy doesn't wait until you're strong to strike. They hit before you even realize your innate strength. Because here's the truth they won't disclose. Your energy is your power. It's something they cannot fabricate. Something they will never possess, no matter how much they analyze you, imitate you, or attempt to drain you. This is why they labor so diligently to confuse you, wear you down, and exhaust you. They need you blind to your greatness. They need you filled with doubt and small enough to be controlled. Think about it. Have you recognized how the most gifted, perceptive, and spiritually potent individuals are often those who struggle the most? Those who endure endless trials, betrayals, and barriers. It's not because they are cursed, but because they are specifically targeted. The moment you arrived, you became a challenge. They didn't require proof of your power. They only needed to ensure you never discovered it. That's why they subjected you to such hardship. That's why you have faced betrayals that felt like daggers to your soul. That's why the people closest to you have frequently turned against you, time and again, because your light exposes the darkness within them. They resent your energy because they cannot replicate it. They envy your spirit because they lack it. And when people cannot control or claim something, they seek to destroy it. But let's take a moment to pause. I understand your thoughts. If I'm chosen, why does my life feel so challenging? Why does it seem like I'm in a constant state of loss, being tested, and walking this path alone? That's exactly how they want you to feel. They desire to convince you that your struggles signify failure when, in reality, they are evidence of your power. The strongest souls endure the toughest trials because they are being shaped and refined for greatness. Gold is perfected through fire. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Warriors are not forged in comfort, but through conflict. You weren't given an easy path because you were meant for mediocrity. You were designed to shake the very foundations of this world, disrupt systems, challenge deceptions, and tread a course for those who are truly strong. Reflect on the greats. Nikola Tesla, isolated and discredited. Joan of Arc, burned for her vision. Muhammad Ali, silenced and attacked. The world has always feared those who carry divine gifts, for their mere existence shatters illusions. And that's precisely what you do, even if you haven't seen it yet. Your presence alone makes others uncomfortable. Your energy is so powerful that it illuminates the frailties of those around you. This is why those who once loved you may suddenly turn their backs. This is why you feel like an outsider, even within circles of friends. No matter how hard you try to fit in, you never fully do. But here's the part that should send shivers down the spine of your adversaries. You are awakening. The more they attempt to suppress you, the stronger you become. The more obstacles they place in your path, the more resilient you grow. They are losing their grip because the very thing they dread most is unfolding. You are starting to uncover the truth. So, what now? Are you going to allow them to dictate your life? Will you remain oblivious to your own potential? Or will you rise and claim what has always belonged to you? This war isn't concluding, it is escalating. The only entity they fear more than a chosen one is one who finally realizes their true nature. And let me tell you, the instant you wholly embrace your calling, the world will transform in ways you never dreamt possible. The foes that once surrounded you will scatter. The barriers that appeared insurmountable will fade away. The power they labored to suppress will erupt from within you, like a force they cannot contain. They have spent years, perhaps decades, trying to keep you in darkness. But now, the question is no longer why they fear you. It's what will you do with that fear? Will you allow it to restrict you, or will you channel it into your drive? Those who sought to diminish you are about to behold the ascension they never anticipated. Your power is not something that can be taught, only bestowed. A lion doesn't seek permission to roar, and a chosen one doesn't wait for validation to rise. It infuriates them that you didn't have to earn this power. You didn't plead for it, steal it, or learn it from books. It was imbued within you before your first breath. This knowledge drives them to madness. They devote their lives to mimicking what comes effortlessly to you, taking courses, copying styles, and imitating energy. Yet, regardless of their efforts, they can never replicate you. Your power is not merely an acquisition. It's woven into your very being, stitched into your soul by forces beyond this realm. That's why, no matter how hard they attempt to dim your radiance, stifle your voice, or obliterate your self-assurance, something within you steadfastly refuses to die. That isn't obstinance, that is divine resilience. It's the hallmark of the chosen, and they resent it. Consider this. Why do they labor so intensely to convince you that you are insignificant? Why do they mock you, gaslight you, and manipulate you into believing you're just one of the crowd? Because deep down, they recognize a truth they cannot deny. They perceive something within you that defies explanation, something that feels out of place. They see the glow, the intuition, the indomitable spirit, and that terrifies them. Have you noticed how people flock to you while simultaneously harboring resentment? They cherish your energy, absorb your wisdom, and relish your kindness. But the moment they grasp that they can't control you, they turn against you. This isn't love. It's an obsession with your essence. They desire to consume your power for their own gain, and when they fail, their admiration morphs into animosity. This is the reason why your journey has been fraught with challenges and battles from the very beginning. Your gifts were too remarkable to remain concealed. The world recognized them before you did. The adversary acknowledged them ahead of you, and they knew they must either keep you in a state of slumber or broken before you ever awoke to your true potential. Look to the legends. Michael Jordan wasn't trained to be great. He was born with that greatness. Tesla didn't cultivate genius. It was bestowed upon him. No one instructed them to stand out, they merely did. And, as a result, they experienced backlash, discredit, and isolation. Is that coincidence? The most powerful souls are invariably the most tested. The universe doesn't expend effort on the ordinary. If you've endured betrayal, enduring struggles, or years of feeling like an outsider, it's not mere misfortune. It is the confirmation of who you are. The world has sought to erase you before you could fully ascend. Because here's what they don't want you to uncover. You are unstoppable. Once you claim what is already within you, no one can teach you how to pierce through deceit, sense energy before words are uttered, or recover from circumstances that should have shattered you. Those capacities are not acquired, they are divinely inherited. This is why they attack you differently. Do you notice how people endlessly study you, trying to decipher your essence? Can you see how they are drawn to your presence yet secretly jealous of your strength? It is because they cannot comprehend you. You don't conform to their rules, their formulas, or their expectations. And therein lies the splendor of being chosen. You were never meant to. They endeavor to silence you, not because your voice lacks significance, but because it exudes too much truth. They endeavor to fracture you not because you are frail, but because they fear the implications of your full emergence in power. So, let me pose a question. How long will you allow them to define your existence? How long will you persist in doubting what has already been gifted to you? Every moment you hesitate, every time you second-guess yourself, they triumph. And you were not chosen to fail. The world doesn't require another follower. It doesn't need another soul dimming their brilliance to blend in. It craves you, your raw, unapologetic power. It necessitates you to step forward, own your truth, and cease running from your divine purpose. The moment you embrace who you are, the world will have no choice but to recognize you as well. They cannot possess what you hold, so they seek to extinguish the fire when they cannot control it. They've attempted it all, stealing from you, imitating you, even tearing you down. But nothing prevails because no matter how diligently they study you, analyze you, or attempt to replicate your essence, they will never be you. That truth makes them frantic. They knew it even before you did. That's why they acted against you before you ever had a chance to ascend. They recognized that they could never seize what is divinely embedded within you, so they devised the next best strategy. They lured you into relinquishing your power willingly. This is their tactic. They don't confront you with blades and chains anymore. They assault you with distractions, manipulation, and psychological warfare. They bombard you with lies to sow seeds of doubt within you. They place the wrong people in your path to drain, exhaust, and fragment you. So, by the time you become aware of your truth, you're too weary to resist. Reflect on history. Every powerful soul was isolated, betrayed, or assaulted before they could emerge as their true selves. Jesus was betrayed by his inner circle. Martin Luther King Jr. faced suppression. Nikola Tesla's brilliance was concealed, and Joan of Arc was executed for heeding the divine. They don't merely target the chosen, they strike early. For the longer you dwell in your power, the harder it becomes to contain you. They manipulate because they cannot create. They deceive because they cannot embody the truth. They manipulate the world against you because they know they cannot break you alone. Contemplate this. Why do you consistently attract users, leeches, and manipulators? Why do they adore your energy yet cast you as a threat when you establish boundaries? Why do they admire your strength while secretly wishing for your downfall? It's because they understand intuitively that you possess something they can never attain. Therefore, they control. You question your gifts and doubt your potential. They engineer systems to keep you quiet, obedient, and uncertain. They inundate your mind with self-doubt, surround you with toxic individuals, and insinuate that being different is a curse rather than a blessing. Observe how the world functions. The system does not nurture the chosen. It seeks to suppress them. Schools fail to impart true wisdom. They teach compliance. The media silences those who speak truth and ridicules visionaries until they can no longer be overlooked. Why? Because a chosen one who understands their power is a force of nature, and they cannot afford to unleash self-sufficient, divinely connected, and mentally indomitable beings upon society. You were never destined to fit into their paradigm. The moment you endeavor to conform, you begin to lose yourself. And that is the snare they've laid for you since the start. They weaken you with lies, convincing you to surrender your power voluntarily. They declare your dreams are unattainable, persuade you that you require their approval to have worth, and instill fear in your heart to prevent you from pursuing the risks you were born to take. Yet, here is the truth. They wouldn't exert so much effort in seeking to control you if you weren't powerful. They wouldn't bombard you with distractions, toxic people, and betrayals if you weren't deemed a threat. So, awaken. Inspect your life. Notice the patterns. How many times have you surrendered your energy to those unworthy of it? How many instances have you doubted yourself because someone else seeded fear within your mind? God, how much longer will you allow them to shape your path? Realize this: the moment you reclaim your control, everything alters. The moment you cease doubting, cease explaining yourself, cease allowing your energy to be drained, they falter. They cannot seize what you possess. They will never have access to what flows effortlessly through you. Accepting this truth enables you to reclaim every trace of power they've stolen through deception. No more questioning, no more second-guessing. You are not endowed with these gifts to be exploited, weakened, or manipulated. You were gifted them to lead, break the mold, and rise. Once you embrace this, they will have no choice but to witness you become unstoppable. The battle is unseen, but the assault is tangible. The fiercest wars aren't fought on battlegrounds, but within the mind, the soul, and the unseen realms, where only the chosen can sense the blaze. You have been led to believe your hardships are merely random misfortunes, a difficult patch, or life's unfairness. But that is the deception. The reality is far more daunting. This is war. A conflict you were born into, crafted to keep you feeble, distracted, and doubting yourself before you even identify who you truly are. This war isn't waged with guns and bombs. It is executed through manipulation, gaslighting, betrayal, and unseen forces that act against you in silence. It manifests in sudden betrayals from those closest to you, in moments when, just as you're about to ascend, doors are slammed shut. None of this is coincidental. Every trial, every attack, every shadowy moment has been meticulously placed in your path. They don't need to extinguish your life physically. They simply require you to crumble mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. A chosen one who is lost, drained, and questioning their inherent worth is as inconsequential as one who never existed. Consider your journey. How frequently have you faced setbacks precisely as you're about to take a step forward? How often has it felt as though you were molded to succumb before you could truly rise? Remember to visit Chosen One's sanctuary for more inspiring messages. You might feel an overwhelming exhaustion that goes beyond mere fatigue, a deep, soulful weariness, as if some unseen force is tugging at your spirit, keeping you from advancing. This is because the battle is real. The most perilous adversary is not always external. Often, it's the internal voice whispering that you fall short. Sometimes, it's even those you love the most, unknowingly used as instruments to plant seeds of doubt in your heart. Often, it's the world around you convincing you that your dreams, gifts, and purpose hold no significance. This isn't by chance. This is a calculated strategy. They exploit the closest relationships, knowing a betrayal from a loved one can cut deeper than any wound inflicted by a stranger. They target your finances, understanding that financial stress can drain your energy and leave you too fatigued to fight for your destiny. They invite toxic relationships into your life, understanding that the right distraction at the perfect moment can derail you entirely. Reflect on how every influential soul has faced trials through isolation, loss, and betrayal. David was pursued before becoming king. Job lost everything to test his faith. Jesus was denied by his own followers before stepping into his destiny. Is your path any different? The more potent your spirit, the fiercer the assaults. The enemy doesn't waste their time on those without potential. That's why the chosen endure hardships in ways most can never grasp. But here's what they often underestimate. Each time they believed they had broken you, you returned stronger. Every moment that you should have faltered, you somehow pressed onward. This resilience terrifies them because the one thing they cannot control is a chosen one who refuses to quit. So, what now? Will you continue to allow these unseen forces to drain your spirit, make you unsure of yourself, and convince you that you're alone? Or will you accept that this is a war and that you were born to emerge victorious? The moment you stop adopting a victim mentality and begin to fight like a warrior, everything shifts. The instant you reframe your struggles from punishment into evidence that you are chosen, you become unstoppable, the very thing they fear most. Know this: if you feel isolated, it's because you are set apart. Eagles do not flock. As they ascend, the crowd diminishes. You've sensed it throughout your life, the profound, unshakable feeling of not fitting in, of being different, of standing apart, even amidst a crowd. You've tried to suppress it, to blend in, to squeeze yourself into spaces that were never meant for you. Yet no matter how hard you attempt, you always find yourself alone. This isn't a coincidence. Loneliness accompanies elevation. The world seldom rewards the chosen. It isolates them, thrusting them into wilderness periods, seasons of solitude, and seemingly insurmountable battles. Look around. Where are the ones who started this journey with you? Where are the childhood friends who vowed to be there? Where have those once unbreakable bonds gone? Drifting away, betraying you, or abandoning you, leaving you to question your worth. Understand this: you did nothing wrong. You were merely set apart. The chosen are not destined for ordinary paths. They cannot rest in the comfort of conformity, of being understood, or of walking a straight, easy road. If you feel solitary, it is because you are not meant to walk among the masses. Consider the greatest leaders and most powerful visionaries who have transformed our world. Did they enjoy smooth journeys with unwavering support? No. They faced ridicule and betrayal, and often walked alone before their destinies were realized. Moses led his people but endured years in the wilderness by himself. Jesus worked miracles but was denied by his own. Malcolm X pursued truth but faced abandonment prior to his ascension. Do you see the pattern? You are not alone because you have been forsaken. You are alone because you have been called. When people leave your life, it's not due to your lack of value. It's because your elevation necessitates separation. Not everyone can bear the weight of your purpose. Some will feel threatened, others may harbor resentment, and some might attempt to pull you back down because they cannot bear to see you rise. I understand it hurts. I know there have been times you wished for just one person to see you, to stand by you, to share this journey. Yet, when you thought you had found that companion, they either vanished or revealed their true intentions. This isn't rejection, it's divine protection. The chosen cannot afford to surround themselves with the wrong people. You were set apart not to suffer, but to be honed. This loneliness is not a curse. It is a vital process where you are shaped, fortified, and refined into who you are meant to become. Because when your moment arrives, you must be unshakable, untouchable, and unstoppable. So, let me ask you, will you continue mourning those who have departed, or will you acknowledge that you were never meant to remain where they are? The truth is, the right individuals will appear, those who comprehend your vision, resonate with your energy, and are traveling their unique path to greatness. However, they cannot find you in spaces you have already outgrown. They will meet you at the next level. In the meantime, embrace solitude. It's not a burden, it's your preparation. Those set apart today are tomorrow's leaders. They will distract you with illusions. If they can't conquer you, they will divert your focus. In this age, the war is not fought with chains and shackles. It's waged through screens, illusions, and mind-numbing distractions. The enemy doesn't need to jail you if they can keep you distracted. They don't have to silence you if they can keep you entertained. Consider this. Everywhere you look, there are forces designed to divert your attention from your true power. Social media bombards your mind with trivialities. Reality TV celebrates absurdity. The news perpetuates fear, and music taints your subconscious, all by design. They want you unaware, questioning, and subdued. A chosen one aware of their power is unpredictable and frightening. Great powers once regarded with fear were first rendered into jokes. Prophets were ridiculed, revolutionaries mocked, and warriors transformed into spectacles. Observe how they twist the truth. Wisdom is belittled while ignorance is exalted. Spirituality is scorned, irrespective of how mindlessness is celebrated. Truth becomes a mere whisper, drowned out by the surge of lies that spread like wildfire. They craft a reality in which you laugh at what should inspire thought. They entice you into addiction with distractions that drain your energy. Think about it. How much time have you squandered pursuing illusions? How many hours have you spent absorbing nothingness? How many dreams have been postponed because you were too engrossed in distractions to concentrate on your mission? This isn't coincidental, it's a trap. The longer you succumb to distractions, the longer they can extract from you. Your time, your focus, your essence. Every second you surrender to mindless entertainment is a moment you could have devoted to refining your gifts, unlocking your potential, and stepping into your calling. They know this. That's why they amplify distractions, because they wish to keep you from realizing your true potential. But when you unplug from these distractions, you become formidable. You begin to pierce through illusions. You cease fueling the system. You stop pursuing what was never designed for you, and that's when you transform into an unstoppable force. So, ask yourself, who truly governs your thoughts? Is it you, or is it the distractions that are presented to you daily? The moment you reclaim your focus, the entire game shifts, and they are aware of this truth. Doubt remains their most potent weapon. They don't need to restrain your body if they can captivate your mind. They don't have to fight you if they can instigate a battle within yourself. They don't need to strip away your power if they can lead you to believe you never possessed any. They don't need to halt your progress if they can incite hesitation long enough to let you stop yourself. Doubt is their most effective weapon, instilled in you from birth. From your very first moments, lies were whispered into your heart. You were placed among individuals who urged you to be realistic, to remain small, and to avoid aiming high. At Amanki, they constructed a system that chastises divergent thinking and mocks faith, urging you to conform to the crowd lest you be scorned. They programmed you to doubt yourself before you could even consider believing in your own potential. Because if they can instill uncertainty in you, they don't need to take further action. Reflect. How many opportunities have slipped away because of self-doubt? How often have you muted your voice because you were unsure of your worth? How many times have you disregarded your instincts because someone else convinced you that you were mistaken? That was their strategy from the beginning. They know the truth. The enemy only targets what they fear the most. If you weren't powerful, if you were not significant, if you were not a threat to their agenda, they wouldn't invest time in trying to suppress you. Thank you for listening. And if you resonate with this message, please join us at Chosen One Sanctuary. They aimed to shatter you, yet here you are, and that in itself speaks volumes. Every powerful soul throughout history has faced similar attacks. They were deemed insane before their genius was acknowledged. They were ridiculed before their wisdom was embraced. They faced rejection long before they were revered. Look at Nikola Tesla, labeled as mad before his groundbreaking ideas transformed existence itself. Malcolm X was branded a villain before his words resonated through time. Jesus was scorned before fulfilling prophecy. Can you see this pattern? You are doubted because you pose a threat. You are targeted due to your power. You're made to question your worth because the moment you wholeheartedly accept who you are, they lose their grip on you. So, how long will you allow them to prevail? How long will self-doubt hinder your journey toward your destiny? For how much longer will you fight battles in your mind that were never yours to bear? The instant you silence that doubt, everything shifts. The power they sought to suppress within you awakens. The dreams they tried to stifle spring back to life. The chains around your mind begin to disintegrate, and it is precisely this moment that they dread. You have endured hardships for a reason. The trials that were intended to break you have forged your indestructibility. You have faced trials that would have undone the average person. Betrayals, losses, and sleepless nights filled with uncertainty about your future. You have weathered storms that no one else saw, and yet, here you stand. This alone should convey a crucial lesson. You were not destined to break. You were meant to rise. Every hardship, every betrayal, every painful moment was not random. It was a test, a process, a preparation. The universe does not bestow great power upon the weak. The unproven cannot be entrusted, and being chosen means that you were never meant to have an easy journey. They had to assess if you were ready, if you could carry the heavy weight of what lies ahead. The truth is that everyone covets the crown, but few are willing to endure the suffering it entails. You prayed for purpose, yet purpose demands pain. You sought strength, but real strength is only cultivated through struggle. You desired wisdom, which can only be obtained by persevering through the fire and emerging victorious. Reflect on your life. Recognize those moments when you thought, I can't bear this anymore, yet you pushed forward. You kept seeking, and it is this perseverance that tells you that you have passed the test. The true challenge was never the situation itself. It was about whether you would bend or rise. Why do the strongest souls often have the hardest journeys? Why do the most impactful individuals in history have to endure suffering before they achieve greatness? Oprah was once dismissed and told she wasn't good enough. Steve Jobs faced being ousted from his own company before he revolutionized the tech world. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years behind bars before changing history. The chosen ones are always tested, always pushed to their limits, always thrown into the flames before stepping into their purpose. Destiny demands proof. The weak face no trials, while those without purpose may find comfort. But you were swept into the storm, through agony and solitude because you were crafted for something extraordinary. Now, the question stands. What will you do with this gift? Will you perceive your past as a burden, or will you recognize it for what it truly was? A training ground, a refining fire, a test you have already conquered. Because if you are still standing, still searching, still hungry for more, then you've made it. You survived what was intended to crush you. And now it's time to step into the greatness that was always meant for you. The moment to rise is now. No more excuses. A lion never asks for permission to roar, and a chosen one does not wait for approval to rise. Enough waiting, enough hesitating, enough lingering in the shadows, pondering when the time will be right. The right moment is now. It has always been now. For too long, you've been waiting for a sign, for permission, for the fear to dissipate, for the pain to subside, for the perfect circumstances to line up, and for someone to recognize your worth. But here's the reality. No one is coming to save you. No one is on the way to hand you your power. The chosen ones do not plead, they declare. The enemy has worked tirelessly to condition you into believing you need to be prepared before you can step into your power. That is a lie. The greatest warriors never feel entirely ready before a battle, yet they fight anyway. The most legendary leaders didn't wait for the world's endorsement. They rose, claimed their place. Now, this is your moment because the world is growing darker. Distractions are intensifying, and the attacks are relentless. There is no time to squander. Can you sense it? The energy shift, the unrest, the unseen battle that is ongoing each day? This is not the period to play small. Now is the time to rise. You were not placed here to live in dread. You were not chosen to hesitate or wait for someone to deliver what is already yours. Your destiny is beckoning, but you must seize it. No more excuses, no more one day, no more doubting what has already been affirmed within you. You know who you are. The enemy knows who you are. The only variable left is for you to act like it. So, what will it be? Will you rise, or will you continue waiting for a moment that will never materialize? Chosen ones do not wait, they move. And the time to move is now. Remember, your energy is your most formidable weapon. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Some come to siphon, while others come to drain. Only a select few come to uplift you. Your energy is precious and powerful, and it is this very essence that they aim to control and exploit. They recognize what you possess, even when you struggle to see it for yourself. Your mere presence can shift a room. Your aura is undeniable. There is something unique about you that naturally attracts people, and they are aware of it. This is why manipulators, energy leeches, and users tend to gravitate towards you. They do not enter your life seeking to give. They come to take. Have you noticed how some individuals leave you feeling depleted, confused, or empty after just a conversation? Do you see how, despite pouring into certain relationships, you end up feeling stripped of your energy while they contribute nothing? This isn't mere coincidence, it's an assault on your energy. Your essence is rare, powerful, and magnetic, and those lacking their own energy will go to great lengths to drain yours. They may act as if they need you only to siphon from you. They will masquerade as friends merely to exploit you. They may feign loyalty and support just to extract whatever they can before disappearing when you have nothing left. If you remain unaware of this pattern, it will persist. You must guard your energy as though your life depends on it, because in truth, it does. Not everyone should have access to you. Not everyone is worthy of reaching you, touching you, or sharing your presence. Your energy is sacred. It is not for just anyone. Once you begin to shield your energy, everything will change. Distractions will diminish. Manipulations will lose their grip. The wrong people will fade away, and the right connections will appear. Here lies the truth. Your energy draws in what you allow. If you continue to nourish the wrong individuals, you will only invite more of them into your life. However, the instant you start protecting yourself, the moment you cease giving freely to those who take without reciprocating, You create space for genuine relationships, true support. The kind that inspires growth instead of consuming your spirit. Energy never lies. Take note of who exhausts you and who strengthens you. Those who genuinely belong in your life will never cause you to question your worth, your purpose, or leave you feeling empty after an interaction. They will recharge your spirit, inspire you, and encourage your growth. So now, contemplate. Who have you been gifting your energy to? Are they contributing positively to your life, or are they taking from you? Are they nurturing your spirit, or are they leeching off of it? If you do not take command of your energy, someone else will. Should that occur, you will find yourself perpetually exhausted, left wondering why you feel lost or unable to progress. Guard your energy, protect your power, and observe how your entire reality transforms. They will come for you, so remain vigilant. They do not attack what does not pose a threat. Your ascension will unsettle them. Stay ready. The moment you embrace your power, they will target you. Not perhaps, not maybe, but certainly. The world cannot remain silent when a chosen one awakens. As soon as you break free from illusions, stop doubting yourself, and fully step into your calling, they will take note, and they will do whatever it takes to pull you back. Fake friends will try to emerge, not out of genuine concern, but because they will see your growth. Suddenly, those who abandoned you will seek to reconnect. Those who doubted you will behave as though they were supportive from the start. Watch them closely. Observe how often they only surface when they recognize your brilliance. Witness how they suddenly desire to rekindle things, not out of interest, but because they aim to capitalize on your strength. Manipulators will test your resolve. They will present themselves in various guises, employ different strategies, yet their mission remains unchanged: to control you, to weaken you, and to drag you back to where you once were. They will claim you have changed, assert you are selfish, suggest that you think you are superior to them. That is the trap. The moment you begin to elevate, they realize you can no longer be used, and it's then that the attempts to pull you down commence. Stay prepared. Your energy is a powerful asset. Protect it valiantly, as it is the key to your ascension. The world awaits your rise. Listen closely, chosen ones, for the shadows that follow you dwell in ignorance. They struggle because the person they once knew is no more. They were comfortable when you hesitated, when you lived in self-doubt, for that offered them control over you. But now you possess knowledge and insight that renders you unstoppable, and that frightens them. But hear this: do not squander your energy trying to justify your journey to those who cannot fathom your growth. Engage not in arguments with souls who will never grasp the magnitude of your evolution. A lion does not waste its breath explaining its existence to sheep, for some will always prefer the simpler, weaker versions of you, the ones they could manipulate and drain. That version has faded into the past. So, when they come calling, when they attempt to ensnare you again, stand strong. Let nostalgia not cloud your judgment, and do not allow guilt to erode your resolve. You have fought too hard to ascend, just to be pulled back down into their chaos. Tests will arise, distractions will abound. Stay vigilant, for the only thing they fear more than your ascent is the undeniable truth that nothing they can do will hinder your progress. Now is the moment to embrace your destiny. You were placed on this earth for a significant purpose, and you have persevered for a reason. The only question that remains is, will you elevate, or will you squander the gift bestowed upon you? This is not happenstance. You were designed to receive this guidance. Every trial you faced, every struggle endured, every heartbreak, all of it led you to this exact moment, to this vital message, and this crucial choice. It all rests on a decision. You have been tested. You have endured betrayal. and you have been pushed to your limits time and time again, yet you still stand. That alone speaks volumes. You were not crafted to be shattered. You were not meant to stay small. You are not intended to live in fear. You were destined to rise. However, let me clarify something crucial. No one will come to fulfill this destiny on your behalf. You have waited too long. You have second-guessed yourself for too long. You have allowed fear, doubt, and manipulation to keep you stagnant for too long. The responsibility is now yours. There comes a time when ignorance is no longer an option. You are enlightened now. You understand too clearly why you have been under attack, why you felt isolated, and why you have been tested beyond what seems just. It was never punishment. It was always preparation. The universe needed to ensure you were ready. And if you are still here, still breathing, and still seeking, then you are meant for greatness. But knowing is not sufficient. Merely receiving this message is not enough. You must take action. You must confidently step into your destiny, because the only advantage the adversary has ever held over you is your hesitation. Each time you restrained yourself, each time you doubted your worth, each time fear prolonged your journey, they claimed victory, but no longer. Now, armed with the truth, you possess no more justifications. The choice lies before you. Will you rise, or will you continue to lie dormant? Will you elevate, or prefer to remain where they wish for you to exist? Will you reclaim your power, or allow them to siphon it away? Deep down, you know what you were born to accomplish. You can feel it stirring within your spirit. The time for idleness is over. This is your defining moment. So, what will you do with this extraordinary opportunity? Chosen ones, this is your hour of truth. No more delays, no more uncertainty. If you are prepared to harness your power, witness how everything transforms. You were sent here for a profound reason, and they fear you because they recognize your strength. Now, act in accordance with that truth. This mission transcends your individual journey. It's about awakening the chosen ones before time runs out. Your support is vital in disseminating this message to those who need it most. Join us at Chosen One Sanctuary. Let us rise together.